Alright guys, I never expected to make a video like this, but here we go. I have been searching for a solution to make backing tracks for some of my music, and anyone that's done that knows it's kind of complicated to make it sound good. It's easy to make a backing track that's very basic and sounds like crap, but to make it sound authentic and like a real song requires a lot of work. You need a lot of decent sounds, a good drum machine, bass lines, even pianos, all different types of sounds to make it sound good. So I've been looking for something to do something like that, as well as duplicate some of my favorite songs from my favorite artists, which is even more complicated because, to duplicate their sounds and make it sound, again, anything close to the original is very difficult. So that's what led to this video. I looked at keyboards and all kinds of drum machines, and everything is super expensive when you really start looking into this further. So to consolidate that process and do it as inexpensive as possible, that's what led to this video. So here we go. So this is the main interface. It always shows this demo mode. Let me just show you a quick demo of one of the pre-built songs that are in here. And like I said, these are all very hip-hop focused. Wow, that seems really off. I don't know why it's doing that double hit there, but so if we start a new project, it will immediately load up the instruments and the sounds. And even going through this, when I was like, this is not for me, this is not going to work. I couldn't even find a decent bass sound in here. But the more I explored, so if I go to drums and the factory expansions, in here, there's just a standard drum kit, right? Just a little bit, which is fine for me, because remember, you can add effects, you can add reverb and all the different things to the drums and kicks, and this will work fine for me. That type of thing. The genius of this device is the ability to, let me just show you quickly. If I go to the song mode, I guess let me start here. A sequencer, if you guys don't know, a sequencer allows you to take measures and just duplicate the sounds, the beats, everything you're doing in a very small segment. So in this case, I'm doing 4 measures. I have the tempo set to 120. The notes are set to 16th notes, which means that's all it's going to look for, because again, this is a MIDI device, so it's trying to organize things in a timely fashion, whatever you set up. Let me make a quick sequence and I'll show you guys how this works. So you hit record, play start. So now you'll notice it immediately goes to overdub. So now it's going to continuously record whatever I play and put it on top of what's there, as long as it's not the same note. So I'll do a snare next. Now it's there. So let me add a hi-hat. And that's it. So if you want to add so that's a sequence. I'm trying to break this down so you guys can, I'm oversimplifying this device because it's really kind of complicated. So now if I go back to what I was showing you earlier and I look at the song mode, right now I'm just working on a sequence. Think of a sequence as a section of a song, or at least that's how I'm using it. I have no idea how hip hop or any other type of music is created. I've never done that, nor will I ever. However, for rock music, there's usually like an intro, a verse, a chorus, sometimes a bridge. You know, think of each one of those as a sequence, or that's how I'm going to use it. So with this, I'm going to make a sequence for the intro, a sequence for the verse, a sequence for the chorus, assuming they're different, because some songs they're the same. But anyway, it gives you that flexibility if you want to have, you know, different beats, even different tempos. You know, there are a lot of alternate rhythms occur during some of these rock songs. Definitely the drums change. Again, this gives you the flexibility to literally create a song very simply, using sequences to do it, and then you just kind of structure the song based on that. And it's really cool. Let me go back to the project mode. I want to add a track so you guys can see this. I'm going to add a key group because one of the things that I bought, and this is what sold me on this device. So you can buy plugins, and in this case, like I told you at the start of this video, I couldn't even find a decent bass sound. And remember, my goal was to create backing tracks. So if I just pick a standard bass, let's pick a Monarch. And I'm just going to go to clean. Why not? And now it will load up that sound. So now that I have my bass selected, I can now go back to my track because it knows what's there. So now I'm just going to add a quick bass track. I'm going to keep this very simple. So we're going to hit record, play start. Okay, and then again, if you wanted to add something else, let's go back to the plugins because again, some of the factory sounds that come with this are pretty wild. The organs are really nice, so let's check a rotary organ. Now, let me go back just because I did that kind of quick. All of these that you see on the screen, this is what comes with the device, and each one of these has tons of sounds behind it. You see how this one actually says bass? When I went to these basses, I didn't like any of them. You could tell that they're very much not rock sounds. Actually, that's not bad, but it still doesn't sound like a bass guitar. And that sure as hell doesn't. So that's what led me on my pursuit to go find something else. So anyway, now I'm actually looking for like a piano sound or a key sound. Let me see what's in that key group that I bought. Oh, this is just bass. That's right. So let me use one of the plugins that's already here. Like I said, Hype has a bunch of cool stuff. Actually, let's just do bells. Let's just do something really simple. 80s bells. Look at that. All right, whatever. Again, this is just for demo purposes, so I don't really care about the song. So let me go back to the main menu here. We're going to hit record and play start. And now it's there. So that's about as far as I'm going to go with this device to show you what it's capable of. Because again, I could spend hours going through this device. It's really complicated. Has 128 tracks. There's almost unlimited tracks when you start talking about all the virtualization and the other things built into this. It was very easy to set up. It's very easy to buy plugins for through their store. You literally just buy them, connect this to your computer, upload them to the device, and you're done. It's that simple. The device itself, I think, is rather affordable. I think it was $8.99 for this. All right, guys, that's it. So again, I just wanted to go over this device really quickly, show you guys how this can be used from not from a hip hop perspective, but more of a rock guy perspective. And I'm really excited to see what we can do with this. Again, my goal was just to make backing tracks so I can have some cool stuff to play with the guitar. On my other channel, my sim racing channel, I play music in the background, and what I think is going to be fun is making some cool backing tracks for that. So that's one thing, as well as just making jam tracks that every guitarist likes to jam to. So stay tuned. Anyway, as far as the device goes, do your own research. If you guys find better methods or ideas that you think, maybe I'm crazy and there's an easier way to do this, let me know. I've never really explored the synth side of keys. I have a nice Yamaha CP88, like I said earlier, that I did invest in because I do play piano as well, but I've never really needed the crazy sounds and all the libraries that come with. I mean, originally I looked at the Yamaha Montage, and that thing is ridiculous. First of all, it's $4,000, and I've had keyboards like that in the past. I've had a Motif, I've had Chord Kronos, and they are so far overkill for what I need, for my purposes anyway. So that's my 2 cents on that. Anyway, thanks so much for watching, guys. Please like and subscribe, support the channel, it does help, and I'll see you next time.